Ritzie, what's good, man? Thank you for joining. Happy to see you, even though I see you often because you're my brother. I'm happy to talk to you really quick because I know you, but for people who don't, can you give me a little introduction and tell everybody about yourself?
Sure. Yeah, it is good to see you, brother. Doing the Zoom thing. Um, my name's Ritzie Williams. I'm a designer by trade, but I'm also into entrepreneurial pursuits as well. I've got a clothing line. I've got a design studio, um, and that's a little bit about me. Uh, Periodically, I like to support Aware because I think it's a just cause. And as you can see, I've got my Aware gear on. I've got my red hoodie, my red hat. I have my black necklace,
I
and I
see
also have a
you are aware.
black and white mask as well. What did you say?
I said I see you are awared out right now.
I am awareness man. In case you were unaware, I am aware of everything that goes on.
And your awareness, man, dose number two.
I've got way more aware on than you. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay,
You
well,
have
anyway, so
you got
I
some earrings on or what? What you got? You got something else? Okay, you do have the earrings on. I'm sure you got the pop socket to hold your phone up right now too, huh?
Yes, sir. So really quick, man, usually when I ask people to share their stories, our stories are similar, but they're also different because we have been impacted, we have been affected, we take things differently, and everything's a little bit different. So I'm super excited to hear your take. But I always ask people these three questions, and obviously, as you answer them, I may have more, and I may be able to relate with something, I may not. But I always like to ask, what cause is important to you? Like, why are you wearing the red? What cause is important to you? Why does it need more awareness? And what does aware mean to you? And when I say aware, I don't mean like a necklace or a shirt. I mean like aware as far as like the concept about raising awareness every day compared to just 1 month or 1 day that because sometimes there's little most causes traditionally get a 1 month of awareness. So that's what I mean by what does aware mean to you per se.
Right. Okay. So just first question was what was the first question?
What cause is important to you?
Okay,
Like why?
so for me, there's a you actually have a series of causes that are important to me, and I'll go over why. Like red for substance abuse, white for mental health, and black for cancer are the three biggest ones. Namely, one substance abuse. My mom has struggled with that for her entire life, and she's gone over 20 years of sobriety, which is amazing to me. I think it's a beautiful thing. Um, Obviously cancer. I've lost quite a few people in my family that have suffered for it and have lived through it. Thank goodness. Because of that, and mental health is a big one. Just because I feel like that's one that doesn't necessarily. I think it's picking up traction now, but just through my entire life, it was not spoken of. It was like maybe considered a weakness. But now it is. People are starting to recognize it more, and I think that that's a cause that leads to a lot of other symptoms. So that's why the white is also important to me, which
Yeah.
I do have the mask, but
So
yeah.
you know, one thing that I've learned by doing aware and listening to other people's stories, like I didn't actually realize how important it was to our mom when she was sober. Like, one thing, we grew up going to those AA meetings and AA dances, and I didn't really know what that was. But can you kind of talk on what your experience it was like, going to AA as a kid? Did you know what it was? Like, did you know what we were doing? Mom had those second birthdays for her, like,
Yeah,
sobriety birthday. What
I
did you
was
think?
I was generally I was generally pretty conscious of the situation. I mean, obviously, I was a little older than you. I had you by 2.5 years, so I was able to see some of the stuff our parents were going through when dad going out and mom kind of struggling and her going out and the repercussions that had on their relationship. And then when she started going to AA, and then how like just the small growth of it. Initially, it was like she's trying to get better. Then we're going to dances. Then she found more of a family. And I listened to a lot of people's stories, but there's also a weird opposite side where it was kind of looked at as negative, like something was wrong with you. But like when you're actually there seeing it, because we went to a lot of meetings. We'd be at the
Yeah,
meetings. It was don't get me wrong. I hated going to meetings because I just they weren't fun to me. I was a kid. I want to run around. And a lot of times we did. We'd play outside, or we would do other stuff. But like it was a lot to put it. I didn't really have a negative or a positive. Obviously, we went to the dances. We did have a good time. I remember like doing popular dances, and like they were trying to do the popular dances, and we didn't drink. We knew nothing about this. We knew nothing about alcohol or the addictions. We were just, you know, just around people. I just saw them as other people that are here. We're just here. You know, mom had the other birthday. It was cool. Like I don't think until she started getting like the older birthdays and it got even more serious that she started really loving it. And mom eventually became really passionate about AA. Like she still now wants to find ways to help it. So and like I've actually seen, now that I'm older, I have met people that are adults that have suffered through addiction and now go to AA and seen the benefits and how it's changed their lives. I see you know, I think it's a great thing. I'm actually glad we've got that experience because we would have known nothing about it. Most people don't. Most people, like, if you do get to like, you know, non-alcoholic, or even if you do have an alcohol, you just have an abusive life and you just think that's how it is. But like, that's such a great program for helping people.
Quick
Huh?
question. Quick question. Do you think, like, knowing that mom was an alcoholic and was you know, to drugs and things of that sort, do you think that has like kind of paved the way and guided you into not getting into, you know, drugs and alcohol and stuff, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I remember
Oh,
like
definitely. I mean, the fact that she. Oh, go ahead.
really, really quick. I know when, like, every time mom walks by someone with like a cigarette or something, because she was like, she did cigarettes for, you know, so long, she was addicted to it. Every time she walks by someone with a cigarette, she's just like, pew, pew, like, and you know,
Doggies.
yeah, pew. And I'm just like, it does, you know, it does stink. But like that, like by doing that, like I've never even tried a cigarette because I've just, in my mind, I've heard, pew, it stinks so many times.
Dude, no, I haven't, like, in the same boat. Like mom made things like very adamant. Like if you ever, like, when I used to, like, you know, I drink, and when I'd come home and I'd be a little lit, mom was always like, oh, 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 you know, are you okay? You know, are you? And in the back of my mind, I was also scared too. I didn't, you know, that may be something that I could get. So I always had that conscious fear of like, what if I also am an alcoholic? Like, I don't really understand alcoholism. I don't know if it's a you take, you can't stop, and when does you can't stop? If you're drunk, is that you mean you can't? You know what I mean? Like, or is it like you need one every day? And I was, you know, like, is it like, you know, I've seen people where they have to take them at lunch, you know, just to keep going. And then there was mom's way, who's like, once she starts, she can't stop. So I always had in the back of my mind, what if that is my scenario too? So that being said, I was always more conscious of making sure I didn't go down that path. So, you know, like you said, the cigarette thing, obviously drinking, like sometimes I periodically just try to go some time without drinking, or making sure I don't go too hard. Things like that. So yeah, it has made an impact in my life, being conscious of it.
Being conscious, being aware. Would you say being aware?
I'd even say being aware, as a matter of fact.
Aha, okay. And you know, another thing too is, you know, like a lot of times, obviously, some people who don't know, you know, our mom has depression. She's also bipolar, and that a lot of those, like, drinking and drugs, they actually like can make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, what would you say, like, if you knew someone, because, you know, even though you haven't struggled with addiction, and you're not affected by it, what do you think are some ways that we've been able to show mom support? You know, like, I always just thought to myself, what if I knew more ways to show my mom support, so when I was younger, I was able to kind of help her more and be there for her more. So what are some things you think we did that actually did help her, you know?
Right, so I think the bigger thing is like the encouragement and the normalization of the help she's trying to get, you know. So like when we obviously we were, a lot of times she'd ask us to present the cake to her
Yeah.
for her birthday, for her AA birthday, and we would. Now I think we, you know, us being a little ununderstanding, we didn't get it, because like that's not something that's normally talked about. So we were just like, we, you know, okay, sure, whatever, because it makes you happy. But if we were more like encouraging, and we were, you know, we were more conversational, or we had some ways to help promote, because she wants to get more into it, you know. Or, you know, like, I imagine it is challenging when you have kids to go to a meeting, because the kid, it's not like there's a babysitting area for the kids, and we don't want to go, and we don't struggle for it, you
Yeah,
know.
I actually remember some times where mom was like, "Can you present us with the cake?" And I didn't want to do it. I was just
Right.
like, no, I don't want to do it. And but I didn't really know how important it was. You know, I didn't know how even like when you're an addict, even just one day is a huge step. I didn't realize that. So now, like, I wish I wasn't like, no, mom, I don't feel like giving you this cake. Like, if I would have known how important this was, going a whole year, going 2 years, 3 years, like each step is so big. It's like, and here I am as a kid, not really knowing how big it was, thinking like, no, I don't want to do it.
Dude, I got to share this. It's kind of because it's around this topic. I remember when mom was working at this job, her boss had been sober for 20 years. I remember she bought him this big pin. Find this pin, right? Because you get a pin every year that you're sober at different milestones. She bought him this 20-year pin, and I was like, wow, 20 years? That's impossible. Like, that's crazy. I just never thought mom would make it to 20 years. Like, I didn't think she wouldn't. I just never thought that far ahead. And
Yeah.
I remember, dude, when she hit her 20 years, guess who showed up with the pin for her? Your boy.
Oh, you did?
I searched on Amazon. She still has it.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. Hit her with the 20-euro pin on her 20-year for her birthday. Huh?
I just gave her a necklace.
Also good. I mean, that's still something that shows support, right? Like, that's the thing, is it's about the support. It's not, there's so many things in your mind you go, am I wrong for this? Am I going to be judged for this? But if it was promoted and it was normalized, you wouldn't even have that issue. You would just, okay, I do struggle with addiction and I'm going to AA. And someone goes, oh, I understand. You struggle with addiction. Here's a hug. And that's good you're going to AA. Empower them to go to AA. You know what I mean? Not like
cheer them on.
Oh, you have addiction like problems. Oh, you're weak. Things like that. You should empower them that they have taken the understanding. They're so they're so present within themselves. Know there's an issue, and now they're working together. That's the same thing you do for like money. That's the same thing you do for other things, right? Like, you have to work on yourself the same way you have to work at your job or work on your skill or work on your craft. It's just part of like the life thing, and it should be, supported. And that's why I think Aware is so great, is it does that. Like, it brings a community. It's not saying that mental health is bad. It's saying mental health is a thing. Be aware of it. And I think that's like why that's why I'm sitting here in a full Aware outfit.
And it's okay to get help if you need it.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing, like when like I know you're really good at connecting people, and I remember I've seen like you put people that have had these like issues like in the same like community before and allowed them to talk and stuff, and I thought that was so like cool, that you've made such a community for these places. So if someone's newly suffering, actually I helped someone reached out to me and was like, hey, I want to write stories for abuse, and I helped make them a logo because I design, and allow them to continue and feel power, like continue and help share that word. That was really cool, man.
Yeah. That's like one of my favorite parts about Aware, is like connecting people and learning too, because there's so many things like that I don't know. And it's like, I wish I would have known. Or what if I come into contact with somebody new and they have, like, I saw this homeless guy just yesterday, actually. I didn't even tell you about this, but I saw this homeless guy yesterday. And I pulled out a couple dollars to give him, and he was shaking, and he dropped a few dollars, and he couldn't even pick it up. So I got out of the car, helped him pick up his dollars. I got put in his pocket for him, and I gave him a couple extra, and he was shaking. I was just thinking to myself, like, I think that's Parkinson's. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what it is when you can't really like keep your your hand straight, and it just made me think, like, I would have never known that if I hadn't had read a couple stories from it, like, and I could be wrong, but like the fact that I'm still thinking, like, what is that? How can I show him support? How can I help him? I saw that he couldn't pick up the dollar, so I got out, did it for him. So that's why I think it's so important to learn a little bit, and because now that we know about addiction, we know several ways to show mom support, like how you got her that pin, like that probably means the world to her, and it probably cost $5 on Amazon or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like
something like that. Yeah, it wasn't expensive.
Right. Like little things like that are, it means the world to people. And like you said, it normalizes things. And a lot of times, one person reached out to me and they told me that some like Aware is taking advantage of weak people. And then I just thought to myself, oh, no, this is actually the opposite, because it is so hard to realize something's wrong with you, or not wrong, but it's to realize something, you're going through something.
You're different. You're different.
Right. Wait. And to admit it and seek help. So many people don't seek help. And that's one of the That's one of the biggest problems. So, normalizing that it's okay to get help is huge. And that's, I'm like, there's no way my mom's weak. Like, mom's like one of the strongest people because of
Oh, yeah.
all the endured, like all the things she's endured. What if
Yeah.
we just, play sports? We have, we love each
Right. In
other.
comparison, we have our life's easy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's like you can't call people weak for talking. Like, it's number one, it's hard talking about just sharing your story. It's already hard. It's hard, and sometimes it's hard, like, admitting, like, oh, like how, my mom doing A, B, and C could have affected me. Like, and that's not even my story. It's mom's story. So, imagine the people who are actually affected by mental health and addiction, like
Themselves, yeah, that actually have these
yeah,
situations.
like these are some of the strongest people, especially when they're seeking help when it's not normalized. So I'm so glad
Right.
you said
100%. 100%, man.
yeah. Okay, so really, last question. I think we've covered a lot. Really, it's just, well, there's other causes obviously that we should talk about. We should do a couple more episodes. But as far as addiction and substance use disorders, the last question that I asked is, what does aware mean to you? What is it? I mean, you've kind of already talked about it, how it's
Right. I've
important.
kind of talked around it. Yeah.
But like there's I think alcoholism month is in February, if I'm not mistaken. But can you talk more as far as even after February, it's still important to talk about this cause and show support for those who are still battling addiction after February.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, like I said, I think it should be normalized to a point where, either, like, yes,
It
you
might
have the month of recognition.
it might
Or,
be April.
sure. Nonetheless, I think it's every day, right? In my opinion, it's every day. It's like, sure, that should be a time to celebrate overcoming or something like that. But the necessity to normalize it so that it's not even something different, like, that it's like regular. Okay, if you have addiction, that's fine, and you're seeking help, then you're promoted, you're celebrated. But the conversation or the ability to seek help or the time to admit it is all the time, right? It should be any, whether it's January, February, March, April, May, any time, And I think that, like, I think it's actually really cool that there is a month to celebrate and to like, or to acknowledge it, and to keep the community flowing, and everything, the awareness happening. But I think that it's an everyday thing that should be praised. If you are doing that, if you need help doing it, it's like when you go to church and they ask if you want to give your life, or it's like every time they do that, because they need to be open for that at every time. And that's how I think it needs to be for everything, like, for if you have mental health problems or you have addiction problems, someone needs to be open all the time, every time, 24/7. I know there's like hotlines and stuff you can call for if you have like suicidal thoughts and things like that. So I think that's such a good thing. I think that's how it should be celebrated every day, or
Yeah.
Acknowledged every day.
Right. Awesome, man. Hey, I feel the exact same way. I just sometimes I like to hear other people's take, because it's good to know. It's good to know how other people think, and it's good to learn. And I totally agree with you, and I feel the exact same way. When you are battling something or you are affected by something, you aren't just affected 1 month, 1 day, 1 week. But I do think I always say, when it's like an awareness month going on right now, I always say any awareness is good. Any.
Right. It's good to keep it flowing, and to, like, keep the dialogue going all the time. I agree.
Yeah, I'm celebrating all the time every month, but I just think it should also be celebrated more. More every day, like what Aware stands for. So, anyways, hey man, this was awesome. I thank you for you're gonna be the first video. We're gonna thank you for testing this
Cool.
out, and I love you a lot, man, and I thank you so much, guys. Ritzie, my brother, he's done all my website stuff, all my branding and logos and everything. He's done all that. So I've told many people before how, like, appreciative I am, but I haven't told you before, bro. So obviously, that Aware would not be what it is today if it wasn't for you. So you are Aware.
Man. I just help out, man. You're the one who's talking to people, who spread it, who had the idea, who's doing it. I just try to help out when I can. It's a great cause, and you keep doing what you're doing, man.
With that being said, I'm gonna need your help putting the things on the sides of this video, man. All right, I love you. Talk to you later, bro.
All right, later, man.
Later.